My coverage of Computex 2024 is brought to you by Fractal, Antec, Thermaltake, and ASUS. See that hydrangea blue behind me? I'm at Thermaltake. They have a lot of stuff, so I'm not even gonna do any more intro. We're just gonna look at it. So if you guys watched my Thermaltake CES coverage, you saw that they launched the TR100. The TR100 was a really cool case. It was my favorite case that I saw at CES, but a lot of people were wanting an ATX version since that one only supports micro ATX motherboards. So Thermaltake said, okay, we got you. Here is the Tower 600. Now, apparently, if you combine two micro ATX motherboards together, they double from 300 to 600. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to try to do math here. But the point is, all the features that you saw with the Tower 300, also the Tower 200, have been carried over to the Tower 600. We're looking at about a July launch time frame for this case, and it's going to be $170, which is not too bad for full-size ATX. I got Thermal Mike here to give us a quick disassembly, because that's one of the really nice things about these tower cases, is how easy it is to pop off the panels, to get inside, to do work on the case, to clean your dust, to do whatever you need to do, to add upgrades. It gives you full access to the interior. As you can see, the motherboard is rotated 90 degrees, which actually is great for stuff like GPU sag, because now if the GPU sags, it's just going down in the right direction it's supposed to sag. That's intentional. As you can see, there's also an optional stand that will come with a replacement panel for the bottom of the case, so you can give it this view from the side. Also, the graphics card can actually rotate a little bit to allow you to angle it to your preference. That will need a riser cable, that's an add-on, but it does come with that functionality out of the box. In terms of radiator support, you can actually have up to 420 millimeter AIO or radiator on this side. You can do up to 360 millimeter on that side. So if the case is oriented vertically, that's a 420 on that side, a 360 potentially up on this side, and as many as 12 fans. It is going to come with a couple 140 millimeter CT140 fans that are pre-installed. And I really like the I/O on this just because, I mean, it's something that we've never seen before, but just I appreciate when you got more USB ports. 4 full-size Type A ports across the top, as well as a Type C, of course. And this is going to maintain compatibility with a lot of the accessories and add-ons that Thermaltake created for their tower series, such as the LCD panel that can slot in down at the bottom. On the back of the case as well, you can see some of the exhaust down there. There's also an RGB panel that is optional. So the matcha green version of the case right over here is using the standard panels, and those pop off. This is another little upgrade. We have an external dust filter there that you can easily remove. How many of you guys have dust filters in your cases that you don't clean very often because you have to pop off panels on the case? Well, make it external, and that's probably going to be a little bit more likely that you'll clean it. They've also added a cutout down here at the bottom for a little bit more easy access to the power supply, and also to make it so you can remove that panel and still have the power supply plugged in. Let's get back to these two little panels on the side though. Those just pop off, held on by magnets like so many of the panels on this case. And again, that's for cable management. Just a little bit more access right here because these cases are also what Mike has dubbed Universal ATX compatible, which means they are back to front compatible with ASUS and MSI motherboards. Gigabyte, jump on that train too and maybe do that as well, I don't know. But whether you want to have your cables showing or whether you want to hide your cables, it will support either way. And then with these easily removable pop-offable panels here, they got them on both sides so you can do some cable management there too. But you could remove one and add in that optional RGB panel, which is going to be probably more visible if you have the case in this orientation and you have it positioned somewhere where you might be looking at the back of it more often. So that is the Tower 600 case, and again, expect this to be available to the public to buy in July. Next we have a small case, a mini ITX case that is actually small. What is it? We got 14 liter, is that right? Yeah. 14 liter size for this case, so very tiny considering it is a case that supports a full-size graphics card here. We also have support for up to a 280 millimeter radiator on top. This one's currently being demonstrated in hydrangea blue, but it's going to be available in black and white. Maybe other colors too, but right now they're just going to start with those 3. Again, side panels that just easily pop off with magnetic attachments. You can see there's a two slot video card in there right now with a 3-fan cooler. But look how much extra space there is for potentially even much larger graphics cards. Up to 360 millimeter length, which is pretty much going to support just about any RTX 4090 on the market that's not a crazy one. Because this is a small case, they actually have a little display here just showing like, hey, maybe you're on the go, maybe you game on the go. And you don't want to use a laptop because laptops can have their downsides, especially for gaming. So pop this case into a suitcase like this with some foam padding and you got some peripherals and everything and you're good to go for a mobile gaming experience. We don't have a launch date for the TR100 yet. They're trying to get it out sometime this year, but maybe look for it early next year. But they are aiming for a pretty aggressive price, $120. That's nice. If you guys like populating your case with lots of fans and lots of RGB, Thermaltake has SWA fans. We've covered these before. They have swappable fan blades. They're available in 12 and 14 centimeter sizes, and they're all currently now being powered by this TT Sync V2 controller. A controller that's a bit larger, but that's because it has so many plugs. Look at all the plugs. We have 7 along the top. We got 7 more along the bottom. Part of the goal with the TT Sync V2 controller is to allow you to use different products all together, but still sync them via RGB. So it's going to be like a 5-volt adapter to connect up devices or RGB things that use the RGB 5-volt standard. It can support up to 14 devices, and then we also have the new CT120 and 140 EX ARGB sync fans over here, and these are using magnetic connectors. Look, pop it off, pop it on, even while the fan's up and running, and it just keeps working. Here's a Thermaltake AIO. They have lots of AIOs, but this is the new one, the MagFloe 360 Ultra, so they're going super premium with this one. This one is going to be $169. It's going to be available in August, and as you can see, it has a substantially large LCD screen there, which can display a Thermaltake logo or a variety of other things via their software. Along with that screen, you're going to get Thermaltake's top-end fans, their SWA Fan EX. 3 of those, of course, come pre-installed. And if you're looking at these tubes and thinking those are pretty short, don't worry. They actually customized this just for this display at the show. But again, look for the MagFloe 360 Ultra in August. How about some new air coolers, the AmpAir 200 and AmpAir 600. This is going to have a 210 watt TDP rating for the smaller one here and 265 for the larger one. 6 pipes on this guy, 4 pipes on the AmpAir 200. These do not have prices yet, but since they are going to be able to cool CPUs with higher TDPs, they are going to support a wide variety, even of your higher core count options. Look for them to launch around September. Here's the Astria line. We actually showed you guys this at CES, so we're going to pass over that and we're going to look at this very quickly. Project Trinity 3D VC. The VC is vapor chamber. So Thermaltake is currently developing this product. They don't have a launch date or a price or anything like that. But vapor chambers can provide very efficient cooling. So I'm interested to see what this actually turns out to be when Thermaltake finally brings it to market. Look at this, SFX power supplies. Tiny but mighty, and I don't want to show you that one yet. Let's start over here. SFX Platinum 750 watt. SFX Platinum 850 watt, and these, yes, do support ATX 3.1. If I turn it that way, you can see we're at 12V 2x6, not the 12VH power, so these have been updated for the newer standard, which provides a little bit more peace of mind for RTX 40 series graphics cards, especially 4090s. And we showed you this one at CES, Platinum, 1000 watt, but look at this one, 1200 watt. 80 plus titanium and an SFX power supply. Technically this is SFXL because it is a little bit longer, but my goodness, this is the smallest 1200 watt power supply I've ever seen. And look, they even back it with a 7-year warranty. That's always appreciated. Of course, just like the other ones here, fully modular and 12V 2x6 support, so cool. Cool for very high-end but very small builds. Here's another product we saw briefly at CES, but it was in a prototype phase. Now it's available. Actually, this has already been launched and you can buy it. It's $50 for the DRPower III and upgraded from their DRPower II. So if you guys ever do any modding of like power supplies, if you do custom sleeve cables, giving yourself the peace of mind that your power supply is wired up properly, and you can switch between a bunch of different modes here to check the wattage going on your different rails, through your different connectors to the CPU, your SATA power peripherals and everything. A PSU tester like this is indispensable. Make sure you test that kind of thing before you plug it into your full system or an RTX 4090 or something like that. Thermaltake makes memory. I feel like I say that every time I cover Thermaltake. And we don't have anything very different in terms of like design or anything, but they already have so many different colors and RGB options. I do like the finish and the texture on the ToughFrame XG D5, but the upgrade here is these are now going to be available in 24 gig kits. That's stuck there, I can't move it. The change for this time around is we're now going to have these available in 48 gig kits. That's 24 gigs by 2. So especially if you want to upgrade memory, the current platforms, especially on AMD, don't often play quite as nice with the 4-stick configuration. So 24 gig kits are coming in as an option for people who need a little bit more than 32, but maybe aren't going to spend quite as much money on 64. Here's a cool demo with some immersion cooling. We have a very, very high-end system built in this case. And this is something that you maybe have seen before if you're into computers. It's a bit more of a niche cooling method, but I really like how you can see the fans moving in there, but they're moving so slow. This is another concept case that Thermaltake is working on, so we don't have a price release date or anything like that. But Thermaltake would like to make an immersion cooling case available like on the general market. Do you think that could catch on? I'm not sure. That might be a little too specialized for some people, but people like water cooling. This is like taking water cooling and going above and beyond that. Or you could accuse a lot of case manufacturers of making aquarium style cases, and then maybe this is taking that just a little bit to the next level. On my tour of the booth, I ran into Dennis and Alex from Linus Tech Tips, and we got to take a little try in these Thermaltake chairs. Again, these are not new products. These have been on the market for a while. They are bringing them out in some different varieties of colors and finishes. This is called the Argent, by the way, the Argent E700. And the thing I like about these is in a world of gaming chairs, like racing style chairs everywhere, these are definitely different. They have a different look. They are fairly expensive. They're about 1,200 bucks each, but they are distinct, especially with a lot of the finishes they have and the sort of brown leather, and they're pretty comfortable too, once you figure out how to lean the seat back. Thermaltake has some racing sims on display here. There's actually a couple different versions. This one is specifically set up for racing style, so available in a black and a white finish. And then over on this side, they have flight simulators, also available in black and white. Closing out my whirlwind tour of the Thermaltake booth, we have custom-built PCs, because that's like something that Thermaltake always has like a crazy display of here at Computex. They have a bunch of TR100 custom builds. So I thought I'd give you guys a quick look at these. We have a Bumblebee, we have a Gundam. Thermaltake has gathered modders from all over the world to assemble these. The two over here are from the Philippines. This one's by Timmy Parker of PC Works from the US. We have a Jesse Palacio build over here, also from the Philippines. Clean looking red GTR themes build. Justin Chu from J Custom did this Bumblebee build, which is also looking really nice. I like the backplate accent there to match with the Thermaltake TR300 yellow case. Corey Gregory of Designs by IFR from Australia did this one here, which has a nice weathered, textured outer finish. But I gotta give my favorite to this one right here. TR300 Snow, made to look like Buzz Lightyear. This one was made by Suchao Praofong. My apologies if I'm not pronouncing that very well, but that modder is from Thailand. Some really cool detail work and extra add-ons on the outside of this case. And I like the choice of the gray coolant. It also wraps around out the back side of the case where the radiator is positioned, which is kind of evocative of Buzz Lightyear's like backpack with the wings that pop out. Really cool mod here. I really like this one. But guys, that's all the time I have here at the Thermaltake booth. I want to say a huge thank you to my sponsors for Computex 2024, Thermaltake, of course, as well as Asus, Fractal, and Antec. I have a lot more videos coming at you real soon, so if you enjoyed this one, check out the playlist where I have all of my Computex coverage. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel maybe if you're not already, and we'll see you all in the next one.